Amanda deserves these more than you ever will. My mother-in-law's voice crackled through the phone, dripping with satisfaction. She's family by blood, not just marriage. Besides, you're too busy with your hospital work to appreciate such beautiful pieces. My name is Sofia Martinez, and at 32, I was listening to my mother-in-law justify stealing my grandmother's jewelry collection while I was working a 36-hour shift in the emergency room. The same collection that had been in my family for 4 generations, passed down from mother to daughter, each piece carrying stories of strength, love, and survival. Diana, I kept my voice steady despite the rage building inside me. Those pieces aren't just jewelry. They're my family's legacy. My grandmother survived World War II with nothing but those pieces hidden in her coat lining. While they're with real family now, she replied smugly. Amanda's already wearing the sapphire necklace to her dinner party tonight. It looks much better on her than it ever did on you. I gripped my phone tighter, thinking about my sister-in-law Amanda parading around in my grandmother's prized sapphire necklace. The same necklace my grandmother had worn when she fled Europe, the one she used to barter for safe passage across the border. Each piece in that collection had a story, a purpose beyond its monetary value. What Diana didn't know was that I'd been expecting something like this. After 15 years of marriage to her son Michael, I'd learned to anticipate her schemes. That's why I'd taken precautions months ago. I hope Amanda enjoys them, I said calmly, ending the call before Diana could respond. My hands shook as I pulled up the insurance company's number. 6 months ago, I'd had every piece professionally appraised and insured, complete with detailed photographs and documentation of their historical significance. I had also installed a hidden camera in my jewelry box after noticing things slightly out of place whenever Diana visited. The timing wasn't coincidental. Diana had chosen this weekend specifically because she knew I'd be working back-to-back shifts at the hospital. What she didn't know was that Michael, her precious son, had helped me set up the security system after her last attempt to reorganize my belongings. "Your mother's getting worse," he'd said while installing the camera. "She needs to understand boundaries." I dialed the insurance company, then the police. Within an hour, I had filed both an insurance claim and a theft report. The hidden camera footage showed Diana clearly entering our bedroom, examining each piece and carefully packing them into her designer handbag. My phone buzzed with a text from Amanda. "Thanks for the early inheritance. The sapphire necklace is perfect for my charity gala next week." I smiled, taking a screenshot for evidence. Amanda had always been jealous of my relationship with Michael, her older brother. In her mind, he deserved everything I had simply because she was blood family. Diana had encouraged this attitude, constantly reminding me that I was an outsider who'd married into their prestigious family. What they'd forgotten was that I wasn't just an emergency room doctor. I was the granddaughter of a woman who'd outsmarted Nazi officers who taught me that sometimes the best revenge is patience and preparation. The insurance adjuster called back within hours. Given the documentation and video evidence, they were fast-tracking my claim. The collection was valued at over $300,000, not including their historical significance. "Dr. Martinez," the adjuster said, "given the clear evidence of theft, we can process your claim immediately. What would you like to do with the settlement?" I thought about Diana's smug voice, about Amanda wearing my grandmother's necklace like a trophy. Then I thought about what my grandmother would do. "I'd like to establish a scholarship," I said, my voice firm, "for children of war refugees seeking medical degrees in honor of my grandmother." The adjuster paused. "That's unusual. Most people would want to replace the jewelry." "These pieces helped my grandmother survive a war and build a new life," I explained. "It seems fitting they should help others do the same." As I finished the call, my phone buzzed again. This time it was Michael. "Mom just called, bragging about giving Amanda your grandmother's jewelry. Please tell me you had a plan for this." I sent him the insurance claim confirmation and police report. His response was immediate. "That's my girl." "Want me to tell them, or should we let them figure it out themselves?" "Let's wait," I replied. "Amanda's charity gala is next week. Wouldn't want to spoil her big entrance." I sat back in my office chair, feeling a strange mix of sadness and satisfaction. The jewelry was gone, yes, but my grandmother had always said material things were just tools for building a better future. Diana and Amanda thought they'd taken my family's legacy. They had no idea they'd just helped me create a new one. The next few days would change everything, but for now, I had patients to attend to. After all, my grandmother didn't survive a war by letting thieves distract her from what really mattered. The charity gala was being held at the city's most prestigious hotel, and Amanda had made sure everyone knew she'd be wearing family heirlooms for the occasion. The irony wasn't lost on me as I watched social media fill up with her pre-event photos. My grandmother's sapphire necklace gleaming against her neck. "Can you believe her?" Michael muttered, showing me another post where Amanda claimed the jewelry had always been meant for her. We were getting ready for the gala ourselves. Michael as a major donor and me as, well, the woman whose family jewelry was about to become the talk of the evening. I chose a simple black dress, elegant but understated. No jewelry except my wedding ring and the small golden pin my grandmother had managed to keep hidden even from the Nazis. The one piece Diana hadn't found because I always wore it on my hospital coat. The police detective had called earlier that day. "Dr. Martinez, we have enough evidence to press charges. Would you like us to make the arrest at the event?" "No," I'd replied. "Let's handle this professionally. Send the official notification tomorrow." After all, I wasn't interested in public humiliation. I wanted justice. As we entered the gala, Diana immediately spotted us. She was wearing an emerald bracelet from my collection, looking every bit the proud mother of the evening's charitable daughter. "Sophia, dear," she air-kissed my cheeks, "you look simple tonight. No jewelry?" "Oh, that's right," she smirked, touching her stolen bracelet. "I prefer to let my contributions speak for themselves," I replied smoothly. Michael squeezed my hand, trying not to laugh. Amanda was holding court near the stage, practically glowing under the attention she was receiving. "Oh, this," I heard her say to a group of admirers, touching my grandmother's necklace. "It's a family piece, passed down through generations. Mom finally decided I was the right person to carry on the legacy." I moved through the crowd, accepting congratulations on the new refugee scholarship program. News had spread quickly through the hospital board, and several major donors had already pledged matching funds. My grandmother's jewelry would end up helping far more people than Diana or Amanda could imagine. "Dr. Martinez," called out Dr. Thompson, head of the hospital board. "I was just telling everyone about your incredible initiative, using your family jewelry collection to fund scholarships for refugee medical students. It's inspired." Diana, who had been eavesdropping nearby, froze. "What did you say about the jewelry?" "Oh, you must be so proud," Dr. Thompson continued, oblivious to Diana's growing panic. "The insurance company said it was one of the most well-documented collections they'd ever seen. The historical significance alone. And now it'll help future doctors escape war-torn countries, just like Sophia's grandmother did. Simply beautiful." I watched as the color drained from Diana's face. She grabbed my arm, pulling me aside. "What have you done?" she hissed. "Protected my grandmother's legacy," I replied calmly. "The insurance settlement will fund medical education for refugees for years to come." "Isn't that wonderful?" "Insurance?" Amanda had joined us, her hand clutching my grandmother's necklace. "What insurance?" "The comprehensive policy I took out 6 months ago," I explained. "Full coverage for theft, complete with video documentation. The police report has already been filed." Amanda's face went from confusion to horror. "Police report? You didn't think I'd just let you steal my family's history, did you?" I kept my voice low, calm. "Those pieces helped my grandmother survive a war. Now they'll help others survive too." But they're mine now," Amanda stammered. "Mom gave them to me." "One can't give what one doesn't own," Michael said, joining our little group. "You both might want to check your emails. The police are sending official notifications tomorrow. But I'd hate for you to be surprised." Diana grabbed her phone, her hands shaking as she pulled up her email. "This is ridiculous. I was just redistributing family property." "It wasn't your property to redistribute," I said firmly. "But don't worry, the Scholarship Foundation will make sure every piece helps someone build a better life, just like they helped my grandmother." The rest of the evening was deliciously uncomfortable. Diana and Amanda huddled in a corner, frantically texting their lawyer. The necklace that had looked so triumphant on Amanda earlier now seemed to weigh her down like a chain. As we left the gala, Michael turned to me. "You know what the best part is? Mom and Amanda just publicly documented their theft all over social media. Their lawyer is going to have fun with that." I touched my grandmother's pin, thinking about how she would have handled this situation. She always said that true strength wasn't about wearing the finest jewelry, it was about using whatever resources you had to help others. The Scholarship Foundation already has 3 candidates lined up, I told Michael. Young doctors who had to flee their countries, leaving everything behind. Just like my grandmother. He smiled, pulling me close. Your grandmother would be proud. You turned their theft into something beautiful. But this wasn't the end of the story. Diana and Amanda's reaction to the official police notification would prove that sometimes karma needs a little help delivering its lessons. The official police notification landed like a bomb in our family's group chat. Amanda was the first to break the silence, sending a barrage of panicked messages. This is just a misunderstanding. Sophia, call off the police. You can't do this to us. We're FAMILA. We. Mom, do's LMET. Diana's response was more calculated. She showed up at my hospital during my morning rounds, designer handbag clutched tight, her usual confidence replaced by desperate anger. Do you have any idea what you've done? She hissed, cornering me near the nurse's station. Amanda could lose her position on the charity board. Our reputation. Your reputation. I interrupted, keeping my voice professional. You mean the reputation you built while stealing from your daughter-in-law? While teaching Amanda that it's okay to take what isn't hers. I was protecting our family's interests. Her voice rose, drawing attention from nearby staff. Those pieces belonged in our family. They were in our family, I replied calmly. Until you decided to steal them. Now they're helping create new doctors, saving lives, building futures. I think my grandmother would prefer that to them being Amanda's party accessories. Security arrived before Diana could respond, escorting her out as she threatened lawsuits and social ruin. But the damage to her reputation was already done. Several hospital board members had witnessed her outburst. Later that afternoon, my lawyer called with an update. The insurance company had already transferred the full settlement to the Scholarship Foundation, and the police were moving forward with charges. Diana and Amanda had been officially served with court summons. They're trying to claim it was a family misunderstanding, my lawyer explained. But the video evidence, combined with their social media posts bragging about the jewelry, makes it pretty clear-cut theft. The foundation's first 3 scholarship recipients were announced the following week. Young doctors from Syria, Ukraine, and Afghanistan, each with stories that echoed my grandmother's journey. The local paper ran a feature story about the program, complete with photos of the stolen jewelry and its history. Diana and Amanda's response was to show up at our house unannounced, both in tears. We'll return everything, Amanda pleaded, placing my grandmother's necklace on the coffee table. Just drop the charges. Please, Sophia. My reputation can't handle this. I picked up the necklace, feeling its familiar weight. It's too late. The insurance settlement has already funded 3 scholarships. Those students are starting their medical residencies next month. But what about us? Diana demanded. What about our family's standing? What about my grandmother's legacy? I countered. Did you think about that when you were picking through her life's treasures like they were party favors? Michael, who had been quietly watching, finally spoke up. Mom, Amanda, you did this to yourselves. Sophia's turning your theft into something good. Be grateful she's not pushing for maximum charges. In the end, they accepted a plea deal, community service at a refugee resettlement center, and mandatory restitution payments to the Scholarship Foundation. The jewelry was returned and donated to a museum's World War II exhibition, where each piece could tell its story of survival and hope. The first scholarship recipient I met was Dr. Yara Hassan, a young woman who'd fled Syria with nothing but her medical books and dreams of becoming a surgeon. When I pinned my grandmother's small golden pin to her white coat, her eyes filled with tears. Your grandmother's jewelry helped her survive a war, she said, touching the pin reverently. Now it's helping us heal from ours. Diana and Amanda's community service turned out to be unexpectedly transformative. Working with refugee families, hearing their stories of loss and resilience, something changed in them. Amanda was the first to apologize sincerely. I never understood what these pieces meant, she admitted one evening, months later. To me, they were just beautiful things to show off. But meeting these families, hearing their stories, I get it now. Your grandmother's jewelry did exactly what it was meant to do. It's still saving lives. Diana took longer to come around, but watching the scholarship program grow seemed to soften her. When the second round of recipients was announced, I found her quietly crying at the ceremony. Your grandmother would be proud, she whispered, squeezing my hand. You protected her legacy better than I ever could have. The foundation has now funded 12 medical scholarships, creating a new generation of doctors who understand what it means to lose everything and build again. Each recipient wears a small pin during their white coat ceremony, not my grandmother's original, but replicas we have made, each carrying the same promise of hope and renewal. My grandmother's jewelry collection sits in the museum now, each piece telling its story of survival. But its real legacy lives on in emergency rooms and operating theaters across the country, where doctors who once fled war zones now save lives, wearing their pins as reminders that sometimes the greatest treasures are the ones that help others shine. Deanna and Amanda learned their lesson, but more importantly, they learned the true value of family legacy, not in gold or gems, but in the lives we touch and the hope we create. As my grandmother always said, the most precious things we own are the ones we give away.